Just say you won't let go.
My coffee shipped today.
Mine too. I don't know if we're going to get it by Saturday, though.
I don't know if we get by. It was sent by USPS Priority, so there is a chance, and it's coming. Actually, you'll probably get it before I will, because if I'm not mistaken, it is coming from your neck of the woods more before me.
Oh, really?
So we'll have to take a look, and I know that if we have a box full of caffeination, then we're going to have to do a special show, an unboxing show.
I think it'd be cool. I want to start doing more unboxing things.
Well, we got to get stuff to unbox.
Well, we got the pins.
They should be coming to you tomorrow. Saturday.
Actually, you know what? The packaging never made it to me today. I said it was supposed to.
What packaging? Oh, the packaging.
The actual packaging.
Yeah, I had to think about that for a minute.
Not sure why it's not here. Unless it's here, and I also just didn't check the mailbox when I got home.
So here's the funny part. I go to church tonight, and I'll admit, and most times at church they have some pretty good coffee. And we're doing a lot of construction at our church, so where they make the coffee and stuff is currently under construction. So they're buying the coffee, like pre-made from a local vendor. It was bad coffee.
Is it like coffee I would like gas station coffee?
No, it was bitter. I mean, it was medium bodied, but it was bitter. Now, granted, listen, I'm not really complaining about it being from my church or anything. It was just like, it was not good. I was saying to my friends, I go, I'm getting coffee in the mail from a really cool place, and I can't wait to have it.
Is it hot in here? Is it just me?
How do I answer that? Because if I say that it's you, does that mean that people are thinking I'm saying you're hot? Because I don't want Alex to get jealous.
Like my shirt.
I like that. I'm just Uncle Danny.
I'm just Uncle Danny.
It's the funky cold Budina.
All right.
Hey, everybody, before we start, do us a favor. I mean, seriously, do us a favor. Go ahead and share this on your pages. Share this with your friends. Let's see if we can really hit a good high number. We're going to talk about something that may stir up a little bit of... I'm hoping it stirs up some good conversation, and just know that we are,
we're here for you.
We're here for you. So go ahead. Share this out with people. We'd really appreciate that. Share.
While you're sharing,
a second.
It does. Sharing is caring. But while you're doing that, don't forget, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. First and foremost, we'd like to thank Fantastic Memories Travel and its Master Travel Group. Fantastic Memories Travel, they focus on vacations outside of Disney, whether it's different cruise lines, trips to Europe, California. Maybe you want to go to Idaho and get some potatoes. They can hook you up with that. But if you are looking for a more specialized Disney vacation, Alani, Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, Vero Beach, well, you're going to want to contact Mouse Master Travel. That group, they focus on only Disney destination vacations. And those agents would love to take care of, the stressful parts of the vacation planning. Like I always say, I know you guys hear it every day, but who wants to wake up at 2 a.m. for nonsense of ADRs? Or, maybe your trip is coming up in 30 days and you haven't booked your fast passes. Well, they will stay on top of it throughout the day to book those fast passes for you. You can check them out at mousemastertravel.com, and don't forget to tell them Behind the Ears podcast sent you. You ever wake up in the morning, or you know what? We'll use Chris's analogy. You ever go to your church function or a job function and you don't have good coffee, and you're like, man, I can go for a good cup of coffee. Well, we've got the company for you. It's Trader Sam's Coffee Company. They are the Artist Central roaster of specialty Disney-inspired coffees. Why not brew some of that magic in your home? Some of their coffees include Skipper's Brew, Ghoulish Delight, Enchanted Tiki Coconut, a little red-headed rum, and many other unique roasts. Their coffees are certified gluten and allergen-free and feature unique custom artwork by guest artists. You know, Trader Sam's Coffee offers an adventure in every bag, so they want to be a part of that adventure every morning with you. So you can find them at TraderSam'sCoffee.com. But while you're there, Behind the Ears podcast listeners, be sure to take advantage of this exclusive offer. Save 20% of your first with your first purchase with codes EARS20 EARS20 to save 20% off of your first order at TraderSam'sCoffee.com. Brew your happy place. You know, maybe while you're sipping, maybe you're emailing Mouse Master Travel, sipping on some Trader Sam's coffee, and you just hear a knock on the door. You walk over the door, and at their doorstep, you've got a box from what else? Mickey Monthly. They bring you a monthly surprise box of Disney goodies direct from the parks. You can get a box every month, and you can curate it to the perfect custom box for your family. You can have things like Main Street snacks, Disney trading pins, or even just park merchandise. Packages start at a low $7, so you can kick that withdrawal of missing Disney by simply heading over to MickeyMonthly.com. But like always, Behind the Ears Podcast is always trying to save you guys money, so use our special promo code RADIO35, RADIO35, to save 35% off your first box. Chris, you know what tonight is?
I know what tonight is.
Tonight's Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen. And
it is Thursday night. It is VIP night, everybody. So after the show, give us just a couple minutes to reset. And for those of you who are VIP members, feel free to join us over at the special VIP section for a more intimate, interesting show where basically we talk about pretty much darn near everything Disney and maybe even some non-Disney things. Its last few weeks have been really cool conversations, and we really appreciate our VIP members. But I'll tell you what, it's $5 a month. $5 a month, you get a lot of streams that are unique only to the VIP membership. And of course, every Thursday, you've got a special show with us. So, you know, what are you really waiting for? $5 a month? You waste more than that on you know, going to McDonald's on, you know, a horrible meal. So go ahead and give that a try. So go over to Streaming the Magic and sign up for VIP access.
Well, McDonald's will no longer ever sponsor us after that one.
Well, hey, I'm not too sad about that, but that's beside the point.
Streaming the Magic proudly brings to you Behind the Ears Podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another fun-filled, exciting, unpredictable Behind the Ears podcast. I am your host, Uncle Danny. The man on the other side of the glass, tap, tap, tap. That is Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, wake up. You have a show to do.
I'm thinking to myself, you're tapping on the glass. Are you acting like I am some sort of an animal?
Ooh.
Some sort of a pet?
Pet. So, yeah. Chris, we gotta make you a shirt that says, "Please do not tap the glass."
Yeah, do not tap the. Please do not tap the glass. You know,
and, come on, we all know. When we all see that, you know, Uncle Danny's tapping the glass just very lightly. I know it's bad for the animals. I'm not sure about that.
You know,
that one's gonna come back and bite me.
Yeah, well, you know, it's one of those things. I mean, I've got two bearded dragons in my family room, and you tap on the glass, and they kind of look at you like, "Yeah, I don't think so." You don't think
you want to stop?
Yeah, you know, it's like, this hurts my ears, and yet I'm going to bite your hand off the next time that you try to feed me. So I'll just be really calm and collective and just sit here. So anyway, but you know, hey, I'm really glad you guys are here tonight. Danny, I don't know what you feel about with this, but I want to touch on something, and I think that our audience is cool enough and adult enough and mature enough to
they don't know me very well.
Well, to have a good conversation about something that I think has been a little bit controversial. And it's only controversial, well, you guys will understand what I'm talking about. And that is, here we are. We are knocking on the door of October in just over a week. And yet we still have not seen the Hall of Presidents open up yet. Now,
that's the topic. It shows you how unscripted we are.
Why? Why do you say that?
That's an interesting topic to go with. I'm excited for this one.
I was trying to tell you earlier, but you were like, you know, arm deep in animal crackers for dinner.
Kidding. Look how big of, and they are organic. I don't know what makes graham or the animal cracker organic, but they claim it is.
Yeah, it's one of those. And the thing is, that was a brand new container of animal crackers when you first got it today, didn't you?
What? I'm sorry, I was reading a comment.
Oh, okay. So it was probably a new container of animal crackers, like this evening, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So you've already eaten about 20% of that for dinner. And I know that you're a purist and you enjoy your animal crackers without anything, but I still say you got to try it with peanut butter or frosting.
You know what it is? It's not that I don't believe that's not good. It's pure laziness. Anybody who knows me very well knows that I work all day long, so I usually eat dinner while I'm on the road. So when I get home, I like a little snack. I eat every night, and it's so bad for me. That's why I'm gaining so much weight from sitting here. I eat an entire sleeve of Ritz crackers. But I don't put anything on it. People think I'm crazy. Like, you don't cut cheese up? And it's not that I don't like cheese and crackers, peanut butter and crackers. It's the fact that I'm so lazy that I won't put it. I just want to sit down at the computer and eat my crackers. So tonight I substituted the crackers for animal crackers, still in the cracker family.
No, because they're sweet like a cookie.
True. Touche.
They discussed this whole dilemma in the movie Armageddon.
That is very true.
Okay, so I'll just say, granted, go back to the 90s and watch the movie and you'll hear the whole entire conversation. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and let's talk a little bit about this, because now I'm going to set one ground rule, okay? You're not going to hear us badmouth the office of the President of the United States. You're just not going to hear it. We are not going to badmouth anything like that. But there are some people that right now have the opinion that maybe this is the time for Disney to either get rid of House of Presidents, the Hall of Presidents, or that it should be reimagined some other way, or figure out what they're going to do. I don't know what's going on. No one really knows what's going on with it. You've heard a few things, but I personally, I've always enjoyed going to Hall of Presidents. I will admit, I go one time per president. That's all I do. One time per president. Because once you've heard it once, you really don't need to see it again, in my opinion, unless you need a good nap.
Oh, stop. It's a good show.
It's okay. So what are your 2 cents on that?
Well, because, listen, and this is not an attack on you. I'm playing devil's advocate with you.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But if the people are like, oh, well, I've already heard it, so I don't need to go see it. Well, I can make that argument for everything you do in the park. You've seen the 1980s, early 90s at Carousel of Progress. You still go on it. You know about the mini drop inside Pirates of the Caribbean. You still go on it. You know they don't get the redhead. You know the guy chasing the woman chasing the guy in Pirates of the Caribbean doesn't catch him. You know all these things, but you still go on them. Listen, this is going to sound almost like an oxymoron. Take the politics out of it. Hall of Presidents is a good ride. It's a good attraction. It's educational, it's comfortable seating, and it's air conditioning.
Well, here's the thing. I never thought that up to this point that it was overly political, in my opinion. I mean, this is just my opinion. Your mileage may vary. Taxes not included, void or prohibited by law. But I've always thought that the Hall of Presidents, at least the part where the president speaks, has always been relatively neutral in the sense of political propaganda. Do I want to say it like that? Political agenda.
Agenda would probably be a better term.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm at a loss for words. I don't mean it. I mean with all respect. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, I always thought that it was. Actually, I think more of the controversy comes from people's reactions when they see it, because the president that's standing there is not the person they actually voted for. I've heard of stories of, people standing up and turning their back on the president, the animatronic of the president, I might add, during the time of his speech, in order to You know what? What?
Special kind of person to stand up and put your back to a robot.
Yeah, it's exactly my point. It's like, who are you really trying? I mean, I understand why you're doing it, but it's like
go on the ride. Then it's very simple.
It's like if that's why you went, is just to basically give a middle finger to an animatronic. I mean, I understand there are people that don't like any president. You know, it was just one of those things. I mean. You go ahead. You know, pick your president. There are going to be people that are not going to like him. This is simple as that.
Simple as that.
You know, but what? Not political, just hard. Not political, just hard to find someone to get that hair right. Thank you, Jamie. That is awesome. Yeah, maybe they're upgrading the animatronics. I don't know, Gordon. That's a good one. And you know what the thing is, though? I don't think that Disney is really trying to take a political stance. But I mean, because I think they've been neutral in the past. But I think people are really looking forward to having it come back. I think people are tired of waiting. And I know that I wanted to see it this past summer, but I also know that going early in the summer, that was going to be a crapshoot. I was not anticipating that it was actually going to be there. You know, in early or mid, early to mid June. You know, I'll admit, when I went to the Hall of Presidents as a kid, I went with my family, and I never actually got to go see it because I started to act like a little dork. You know, I was like 7 or 8, and that was kind of a handful.
I think we're gonna say like 40.
No. With my mom and dad and stuff like that. And as a punishment, my dad, kept me out of the Hall of Presidents. Sometimes it makes me wonder, was that really a bad thing? Because I think at that time, Jimmy Carter would have been president at that time. I don't know it was either Carter or Reagan, obviously. And I could do a really good Ronald Reagan.
That's not a good Ronald Reagan. You do good Kermit.
Kermit for president. Kermit the Frog. He's a part of the Green Party.
I see what you did there.
Sorry, that was really pretty bad.
Ian brings up a point. Is this the longest I've ever taken the refurb to suggest there might be political behind the delay? No, they've done way longer ride refurbishments. Now, this is the longest they've ever taken to add a new animatronic to something. In regards of just speaking of Hall of Presidents, yes. Is there politics behind the delay? I think you could argue that either way. I think in the beginning there definitely was. If you watch Main Street media, they still talk about the presidency, but nowhere like they did those first couple months after he was elected. Disney is basically this is how they're gonna handle it, and this is the way we've all heard that they're basically gonna do it. They're just gonna open it. They're not gonna tell anybody. When I was there in March, it was closed. They told me the summer. I went back in the summer. I was there in June, and they told me in the fall. Technically, we're in the fall, but the fall can run to November. Disney's very good at giving you oh yes, we're going to open in 2018. Well, there's 12 months. When are you opening it? You know what I mean? They're pretty good at hiding things when they want to be hidden. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last year that you see an active president. This is the last president, I would say, that you will see an active president speak. I think they're going to go back after this one because you couldn't do it with Trump. There was way too much controversy, and they didn't want anybody to think that Disney took a political stance. So I truly believe that after whenever the next president comes in, whether it's end of 4 years, 8 years, whatever it turns out to be, it's going to go back to Abraham Lincoln speaking for the majority of.
Oh, you think that?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of interesting. I mean, I could actually see. I could kind of see that. I could see it being either him or, any one of the presidents that actually signed the Declaration of Independence. The original presidents, so to speak, the first generation presidents. I could actually see that happening.
Well, that's how it was up until Clinton. I think Bill was the first president to actually speak, and I'm pretty sure it was Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I'm pretty sure you're right. And go ahead.
You're in Liberty Square. It's based off of the forefathers.
Sure.
In my opinion, why are we just forget all the politics? Just don't go back to those presidents to speak. Why not just make it our forefathers speak? That is it's a colonial time area. The cast members are dressed up in colonial time clothing. Even the Muppet Show, they're in colonial style clothing.
Good point.
Why not just convert the attraction back into what it is and just do it that way?
Can I say something here that may cross a line?
Okay.
I'm sure that no matter who you pick, whether it be a current sitting president or one of the forefathers, somebody's going to be unhappy.
Absolutely. And, we kind of feed into that a little bit too, as podcasters and, innovators in the idea of, the fact of turning podcasting to what it is now, being on the forefront of that, because we have shown that you can have an opinion and put it online and people will come listen to it. I mean, we're sitting here with 70 plus people listening to our opinion on why it's not open. So in this day and age, you could literally put Kermit the Frog here. You can have him.
Horrible Kermit.
That's what you get for doing the Reagan. You don't mess with the skipper.
No. Ronald Reagan is like, hey, Ronald, how you like your steak? Well,
that's perfect.
There you go.
You literally can put anybody you want up on that stage, and somebody somewhere is going to find a reason why it's not appropriate.
But I like your analogy though. You have the Muppets when they're doing their little show, and they're kind of done up in colonial garb, and it's kind of fun. It is really actually a cute show too.
It is.
Yeah, granted, they recycled some lines from Muppet Vision 3D, and that's okay. But I think it would be really neat to really make Hall of Presidents more historical in nature. Maybe even have more of a pre-show than what it already has. Granted, what I don't know. Again, this would be all part of reimagining of Hall of Presidents.
You have to be careful because now you're getting into the gray area of, is it going to be too much like Carousel of Progress? Now, granted, you're not going to go the spans of Carousel of Progress, but are you just having a short film or show about that time period?
You've got a very good point. You do kind of have to walk a fine line because you don't want to necessarily make it Carousel of Progress-ish. That would not necessarily be very healthy for the attraction of it itself. But I'm going to just spitball here for a second. I'm kind of thinking along the idea of, I think a lot of times we as Americans, we lose track of our history. I know history was one of those, history and social studies were two of those subjects throughout middle school and high school that I really didn't care for. I'll admit it. I know one of the challenges they had in my, U.S. history class in high school was to memorize the names of all the presidents in the United States at that time. I couldn't do it. I really stunk at it. I don't even know if I did too well on that test. Or to even memorize, the preamble to the Constitution or, the Bill of Rights, or this, that, and the other. I'm not necessarily saying go Epcot on Hall of Presidents, but I think it actually provides an opportunity for some pretty decent edutainment there. Huh?
I'm sorry. Yeah, finish.
No, I think it could provide an option for some good edutainment. Hopefully you can go ahead and learn something, U.S. history wise, by being immersed in something before the actual show, more than what it already had. You know, before it had kind of like that the film type of thing and narration before it went through all the names of all the presidents, and it kind of, you know, it expanded out and you see the, you know, the wide vast animatronics of all the different presidents. But that's just my 2 cents. I mean, if you're gonna reinvent it, you might as well make it worthwhile for, you know, to basically tell your kids, hey, pay attention. This could probably help you pass a test later. So I don't know.
You see, you're gonna sit here and tell me that you can't name all 45 presidents?
No, I'll be really honest with you. I can't. I'm not going to deny it. I mean, I don't think I'm any less of an American because of it. It's
absolutely, you know, not. I mean,
no. And I know there's
some really odd presidents, though.
Well, yeah. I mean,
like, who remembers Martin Van Buren?
The only reason why I know Van Buren is because has a street named from him downtown Chicago.
Fair enough.
So, you know, it's one of those things. But, you know, I again, I'm not a history buff. I know there are people that just love history. That's not me. But it was.
I kind of want to do this.
Well, the funny part is like tonight, and I haven't talked to my son about this, but there was a reference in tonight's what they were teaching tonight at church with the youth group that I work with, and the funny part about it is that they mentioned Gutenberg and the printing press, and I'm sure that my son at that time was thinking to himself, I know about this because of Spaceship Earth. So, you okay?
Between presidents 8 to basically between Andrew Jackson and Abraham Lincoln, there's 8 presidents, and I can never remember those 8 presidents.
Wow, and you're having a complete brain cramp because of it?
Yeah, because I really feel like I can name them all.
Oh man, I don't think anybody can really. I mean,
don't tell me. Give me a minute. I'm gonna think about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what's going to happen? Danny's going to call me up at flipping 3:00 in the morning. Dude, guess what? Wake up. What? Here's all the presidents. And I didn't even have to Google it. I'm like, oh.
I know. I refuse to Google it because it's going to bother me.
Anyway, but I mean, what do some of our listeners have to say about this? I mean, but we, you know, or do you have 2 cents on it?
I have a 2 cents.
Okay, what's that?
You know, Robin had said, I thought some of the holdup was that he didn't submit his recording. Well, actually, prior to Obama, no one submitted their recordings. Obama was the first president to come in and submit his full recording. So that was not a holdup because they only give these presidents a timeline. And if they choose not to do it, that's it. This is going to be very, very left field. Very left field. So, and this is just my 2 cents. Is there correlation in, because you know what? There's a reason why I brought this up. No, there's a comment that made me start to think. It was Robin again. Well, they need security at the door since people can bring food into the park. I have read some threats regarding tomatoes and eggs. Oh. So, is there a correlation due to the whole rioting issues that are going on in our country with whether it's racism, political views, however you want to go? Are they afraid of people coming into Disney and starting a riot in the happiest place on earth?
I'm going to go on an assumption here. I know nothing when it comes to actuality here, but I would like to think that during at least the first month or something like that, that there's going to probably be a lot of plainclothes Disney security intermixed with the guests.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. I don't know. I would really like to think that kind of drama would be left, you know, in the resort hotel room. I think it would be tragic for people to do that sort of thing. You want to protest, that's fine. Don't ruin people's vacation because of it. Don't ruin an attraction because of it. You know, I respect people's right to protest, but you know, let's be reasonable here.
Yeah, there's a time and place for everything. Because Disney security is as tight as it is now. Please, people, there's people like all of us, especially people like me, who want to bring in recording equipment and want to film things for you guys. And Disney's already sticklers on what I can bring in and what I can't bring in. They start having riots in there or protests. They're never going to let me bring anything in.
Well, the problem is you're gonna have a couple people that are gonna try to make political statements, even if it's silent statements with a shirt or something like that. And I feel, again, I completely respect people's rights to protest what they have to say. I don't know who coined the phrase or whatever, but I do respect people's rights to speak their mind because I think it is their rights as an American to do so. But I really honestly think that I'm hoping people will use logic and reason to just not. Yeah, I mean, don't do it there. You're going to get arrested. You're going to get set up with a trespass notice, and you'll never be able to walk in on Disney property again. It's like, do you really want that?
Ian says not sure someone would pay $100 entry fee to throw an egg.
You'd be surprised.
They don't use common sense. So much common sense that I will use a reference that has nothing to do with political, just because I want to get off the political nonsense a little bit for a second. Want to show you people not using common sense. First of all, what I'm about to say is actual. There's proof of this. It's been documented. It happened almost on live television. Well, whenever major storms come in, people board up stores.
Yeah.
And with that, people tend to loot said stores.
True.
There was a lot of people looting stores inside Florida while the hurricane had touched down.
Yes.
Well, 3 people in the state of Florida were arrested for looting a store before the storm hit. There was a cop parked across the street. Perfectly nice day out. They decided to break a window and go loot. Common sense. First of all, you got to be off your rocker to go loot something. That's ridiculous. But you're telling me someone won't pay $100 to go throw an egg at... Have you watched the news? Have you read some of these people's blogs? You're telling me they're going to pay $100 to go throw an egg at Donald Trump? They're going to do it. Let me rephrase that. I'm not saying they're going to do it. That's not what I'm getting at. There are people out there that would do it. Whether they do it or not, that's a different story. But there's someone sitting in their kitchen right now like, I've got 12 eggs. Whenever they open, I am ready.
I don't care how old they become in my fridge. They will be there.
No one eat these eggs. These are throwing eggs.
The eggs are the tomatoes. I'm thinking to myself, well, geez, if you're going to throw away eggs and tomatoes, why don't you just go ahead and give them to me before they rot so I can make myself a nice Denver omelet?
But see, look, right off the bat, Robbins is not sure Lincoln would be a good choice to speak at this time either.
See,
so we're back at this now. Then there's no good president.
Yeah, and Robin, do understand it's not because of your comment. I agree, and it goes back to my statement. No one's going to be happy with whoever you choose. What's Jamie say there?
I understand people are polarized when it comes to politics, and America is a tough place right now due to it. But honestly, leave that crap out while on vacation. If you can't stand to see a certain president, then don't go in there. It's very as simple as that.
Yeah, hey, if you don't like what's on TV, don't watch it. You don't like what's playing on the radio, don't listen to it. If you don't like a particular restaurant, don't go there. If you don't like the particular brand, don't buy it. That's the thing I don't get. Anyway, go figure.
Yeah, that's a true statement.
I didn't even watch the award shows anymore, and I think everybody's tired of. People making political statements. I'll just go ahead and say this. I'm not going to mention a name. There is a particular teenage actress that on that person's Instagram page posts a lot of political type items, very, very political type items. And I'm thinking to myself, do you even know what you're posting?
Probably not.
Yeah, and so I just think there's a lot of people that like to have an opinion that really don't know the background. I've actually had some chats with my son about stuff like this because he starts listening to the news and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, you need to stop and think about what you're saying beforehand because you don't necessarily know what the background behind it is. Which again goes back to the whole thing of learn some history. Come
on, how funny is this? Django, someone just casually standing there holding a carton of eggs at Magic Kingdom rope drop. Just standing there full carton, just what? I just got my eggs. that would be priceless.
But you know what? You know what they're going to say? Well, the rules don't say I can't.
Yeah, I can't bring uncooked food into the park.
Yeah, and they're hard boiled.
Oh, they're hard boiled.
I don't know. It's like if
you're gonna make a mess, you don't want them hard boiled. You want them all gooey. Oh man,
okay. So here's the deal. For our listeners, if you're at the parks and you find out that it's open, do us a favor. Go, give it a try. Let us know. Love to have you on the show. Hey, that rhymes. And we'd love to hear your firsthand account on it. But as I said, Danny and I do try to be very much neutral politically on the show. Yes, we do have our own political thoughts and so on and so forth. That doesn't matter here on the show. We just remain neutral because we just try to deal with, the facts and opinions as they relate to Disney. You'll never hear us endorse a candidate unless you want Salata D'Angelo 2020.
Like how Chris is going for president.
I'm older.
Exactly.
Actually,
young. I can't even run.
I was going to say you can't run, so I'm going to have to find a running mate. So, if any of our listeners are, U.S. citizens, natural U.S. citizens, and are of the legal age to be, president or vice president, send us a line over at BehindEarsPodcast@gmail.com and let me know and say I want to be Mr. Chris's running mate in 2020.
Secretary of Treasury.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the deal. Just remember, I was in California the year that they did the gubernatorial recall, and they had everybody from Arnold Schwarzenegger to adult film stars, run for governor. Who knows what's going to happen come 2020?
Hey, what Mickey Mouse gets 10,000 votes a year for the past 15 years. I got to find the statistical pull out of that, but listen. Over 25,000 people voted for a deceased monkey in Harambe. Okay, if Harambe can get that many votes, me and Bob right here, we're upsetting the world.
Well, by the time I'm done with my 8 years as president, you will be actually old enough to become president. So,
well, I'm actually going to become king.
Oh gosh! Why don't you start easy? Go to be like prime minister in Canada or something like that.
Go king of the world. Not even America, taking over everybody.
Okay, I should have never have brought this up. Why didn't somebody PM me and say, "Don't go there, Mr. Chris"? Oh my gosh!
Danny is politics. What was it? You know what else opened today? Speaking of opening, if anybody was in the park and they want to relay messages, Jungle Cruise made its.
The backside of water. People have been missing it.
Super Pack. What else? Wait, Fort Wilderness opened today too, right?
Fort Wilderness is now open, but at the same point, I saw a live feed earlier today through Instagram. They're starting to dismantle the sign for Disney Quest on the parking lot side, at least. And I guess Wolfgang Puck Express is starting to be torn down too now over at Disney Springs.
What is?
The Wolfgang Puck Express. The old building, because they're actually moving it to another one.
That's right.
So there's obviously some construction going on over there. Who knows what it's going to actually look like? I don't know if they're tearing down the whole building for Disney Quest. I can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest with you. But they're actually tearing down the building for Wolfgang Puck.
That's interesting. I don't know how
So,
I feel about it.
Which one, Wolfgang Puck or Disney Quest?
Yeah.
Either one.
Neither one. I mean, I'm not an NBA fan. So to me, King Danny and his Royal Nuggets.
You're right, though, and we've had this conversation before, though, in the sense of if it's going to be NBA, I won't go there. I'm not an NBA fan. I've never watched a single NBA game. I've only watched like one hockey game. I've only been to one hockey game.
I just got done watching a preseason hockey game.
Well, you got to understand something. I am not going to be one of those Chicagoans that is going to be all on, a big Blackhawks fan and not be watching the games or have ever been to, the United Center for a game. The last time I saw the Blackhawks play was like in the early '90s at the old Chicago Center. So I'm not gonna claim to be a fan, so to speak. I'm not a big football fan, and I live in a part of the state where half the people are Bears fans, the other half are Colts fans. So I do have some choices there if I really want. I am a Cubs fan, but I haven't watched a Cubs game in a long, long time. Even last year's what was it? The World Series, I think I only watched like half of one game, and I fell asleep at the end of the last game when they won it. I will watch NASCAR.
Oh God, really?
We're making a left turn. We're making another left turn. Little homage to Jeff Dunham there.
Jeff Dunham, right? I think they dropped the ball, especially owning ABC, which then incorporates ESPN in itself.
Yeah, but hasn't ESPN been taking some hits lately?
ESPN is draining money out of the Disney. Draining money.
I ask only because I don't know.
ESPN's not what it used to be. You don't need ESPN anymore. You get all that at the fingertips. Right in a mouse click, you're there. Anything you want. You don't need 24-hour TV anymore like that. It's not readily available. But I mean, that's a whole other conversation because then we're getting like cable deals and why that's all falling apart in front of them. There was a lot of talks that Disney was going to cut ESPN. They were going to try to sell them off. But with ESPN owning so many, football games, specifically like Monday Night Football, why that wasn't like a ESPN zone? Yeah, I know you've got the ESPN zone technically over on the boardwalk, but you could have made it. All right, if anybody goes up to Toronto in Canada, they've got the Hockey Hall of Fame. You can do a simulator where you stand there and you wear a goalie's blocker and his glove and you hold a stick and they shoot foam pucks at you. And you have to make saves and everything. Oh my gosh, awesome. You can have basketball where you can have a half a court basketball and you could have a 3-point competition or just shoot like kids shoot around. Football, you can put those giant baskets out 20 yards and have kids just chucking footballs at them. You could have memorabilia. You can get all the different, NBA, NHL, have them just start having jerseys. You could buy all your stuff in there. And then you can bring back the old school hockey jerseys they used to have at Disney with Goofy and Mickey and Pluto, which they don't carry anymore.
Yeah, or even golf simulator, NASCAR simulator. Hey, have an NHRA drag strip simulator. I mean, that building is large enough where you can have super tons of simulators, to do those kinds of things. I would do that. I mean, I don't golf, right? I know you golf, but here's the funny part. And please don't laugh at this. Okay, go ahead and laugh if you hear. So, for the first time, I actually played golf, simulated golf, using my Xbox 360 and Kinect.
Oh, nice.
And I thought that was kind of cool, But you would never want to see me. My best score at golf is like 96 on 9 holes.
Oh. I was going to say, bro, 96? I didn't play
and it took 8 hours to do it.
It took how long?
About 8 hours.
Oh my
Yeah, I am the. Okay, you ever seen the movie?
36 holes in 8 hours.
Yeah, you ever see the movie Caddyshack 2? And the guy goes at the end. He goes, "You have the worst slice in all of golf." Let's go with that. Yeah, that's me. I golfing to me is a nice walk, and you're hitting a ball with a crooked stick, and then you're chasing after it, and then you're hitting it again, and then you wish you said, "I'm going to pick up this ball and go home," but no, I'm going to hit it again and see what happens.
Ava says Disney has the rights to NBA for a while, so why not use it? Because you're going to take a 3-story building and you're going to dump this sport in that has a nice following. But you're talking about Florida here, people. This is for tourists. You're not going to get locals to go do it as much. It's not going to be like, oh, great, we could go hang out with the Miami Heat. Florida is known for having, or it technically has to be the Orlando Magic would be closer. Florida is known to be one of the worst sports teams in all of America. Because not that their teams are bad, but they're fans. Because there's they're tourists technically. We've had this conversation.
But that would be one of the problems, right? It's like which team are you going to highlight, or is it going to dominate the structure?
I've only seen pictures of the Orlando Magic taking pictures with Mickey.
But that's what I'm saying. The Magic, the Heat, and if you did other sports, like are you going to have Tampa Bay versus Jacksonville, or are you going to have other things? I mean, why not Chicago Bears? Why not Chicago Bulls? Why not Chicago Blackhawks? If you're going to, I mean, it's kind of, if you think about it, it's almost as sticky of a topic as talking about Hall of Presidents.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about
it's a little less than Hall of Presidents.
Well, it might be, but don't forget.
I don't see people throwing eggs at the Orlando Magic sign.
No. I mean, but I get it. That's why I said almost. I mean, I think that qualifies as a deduction to go into the almost category. But you kind of catch my drift. I mean, having something. I mean, picking one sport over another is hard. Picking another team is even harder. I know Disney Quest was way past its prime. I mean, the fun part was when we talked to Jake from Bright Sun Films. Go ahead and check him out over at his YouTube channel over Bright Sun Films. He was right. I mean, the thing is that Disney Quest was not supposed to last anywhere near the amount of time that it actually did. And it was a great run. I don't care what people say. It was a great run. Past year or so, it kind of it started to go into the don't know if you really want to go type of category, but it was still one of those things. And but like anything else, wait and see, right? There's probably some basketball fans that are really looking forward to it. Like anything else, I mean, I'm going to have to remain neutral until it comes out, and we'll see what it looks like.
Chris, any final words here before we get out of here?
I'm glad that we didn't talk too much about food tonight because I am hungry. I have not had dinner yet. And that's all I'm going to. You know how many
graham crackers?
You know how many carbs are in animal crackers?
Doesn't matter. You're on vacation.
I'm not on vacation.
You're on vacation if you want to be on vacation. Put on a Hawaiian shirt, get a little umbrella in your drink, and you're on vacation.
I still say you got to dip them in peanut butter or you got to dip them in frosting.
Or I'm just gonna
So here's the thing. I want to touch on what Michael just said there for a minute. Okay. Thanks. Michael says that's why I do not like Disney Springs. It is ruined, and I more than likely will exclude it from my plans when I go back next time. I can shop at a mall at home. I will admit, since this past summer was the first summer that I got to actually go to Disney Springs and look around. And I actually got to do it a little bit more when I went in July with my wife. It was just, a couple's retreat, so to speak. Here's my take. I go down to Disney Springs to see the things that I would like to see. To eat food, obviously, and to see some of the sights, some of the live entertainment. I love that stuff. The shopping, I'm a guy, so quite honestly, a lot of the shopping isn't for me. Going to World of Disney, always love that. Going to the Disney-related stores, always love to see them. Do I think it's ruined by all the shopping? No, but that's just my opinion. I mean, the fact of the matter is that we still had a good time, but it's no longer a half day to a day worth of shopping and stuff like that. Well, first off, I'll admit, a lot of the stuff that's there that's not Disney, not going to fit me. Let's face it, I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. Everybody does Disney differently, and I think everybody is starting to realize that more and more. And I like to see the things I like to see, and if that means I'm targeting certain things at Disney Springs, so be it.
It's your prerogative.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. Facebook is Behind the Ears Podcast. Instagram, Behind the Ears Podcast. Twitter is Behind the Ears PC. If you would like to buy any shirts, any pins, simply go on. We've narrowed it all into one happy place for all of you. Just go to www.behindtheearspodcast.net. And whatever you would like to see, you click on it, you want to buy it, you want to view it larger, it will then direct you to the store. You don't have to do anything. It automatically takes you there. So we want to put everything in one place for you. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, subscribe to us on iTunes, and also YouTube. The Disney Community, that's our Facebook page. We'd love to have a lot of you guys in there. And if you are a VIP member, just hold on a few minutes and we will get into the VIP show. With that being said, I am Uncle Danny. I am signing out. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Be safe and keep your eye on the community because maybe not. Maybe we got something coming out this weekend for you guys.
And I'm Mr. Chris. Just thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We love talking with you guys and helping you get the most out of this show by answering your questions, talking with you, and love the interaction. While you're going and rating and reviewing, don't forget to subscribe to our show. And you can do that through iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play. You can even do it in a podcast catcher like Podcast Addict. And that will make sure that you get everything you need right when it comes out. You don't have to worry about missing a show. But I'll tell you what, until we meet again, and maybe this weekend, we hope that you have an awesome and magical day. Take care.